This is the Galway-Dublin railway line, and near the Galway end of this line there's a town called Athenry, and like a lot of large towns it has a mart, place for selling and buying farm animals. And when I was there, a group of people turned up at the mart who had no place being there, and they had so much fun. Athenry in East Galway. It's Tuesday, Mart Day. The usual arrivals, jeeps and tractors pulling trailers of animals for sale. But one jeep arrives with a very different trailer. And then some cars with entirely different cargo. These are a group of artists from the area. The mart at Athenry has 2 sales rings. This is sales ring number 1, which is in full-time use. At first, you can't work out who's bidding and who's buying, but then you begin to notice the odd eyebrow or finger raised. Like here. The second sales ring, ring number 2, is not used, except today. The East Galway mArtists have brought along their artwork to check out the sales ring. They're going to turn it into an exhibition space in a few days' time. And it makes sense, because all their work here relates to the mart.
The mart was one of these places that I drive by, dropping my children to school, never had a reason to go in. I was always curious about it because you'd hear the sounds, you'd see the trailers blocking the roads every Tuesday and Thursday. And then one of the other artists thought, let's go and investigate the mart.
And decided that we'd do some artwork based on the mart. So it was finding our feet for a while and finding our inspiration.
For some of the artists, the mart is downright intimidating.
At the beginning, I was completely puzzled what I could find interesting or nice about the mart, away from the farmers and the animals and the noise.
Why? Why stay away from the farmers and the animals and the noise?
Because I was shy. That's it.
For one of the artists, the mart was not about the animals at all.
The area of the mart that I found interesting was the car park. I could see habits and patterns in the types of cars that they drove and tractors and whatever. Like say for example, there were certain vehicles that it was okay maybe to purchase and have that were flashy, and then there were certain that might be certain vehicles that were a little bit maybe too ostentatious or posh.
As well as the sellers, buyers and gawkers, the mart has regular staff who handle the animals.
How do you know they won't be a bit cranky coming out of the...
They don't. I know that man's kettle. I know that man's kettle. You never know the man's kettle, who's quiet kettle or who has quiet kettle, yeah.
So somebody who doesn't have quiet cattle, how do you protect yourself?
What? You know it. Keep your eyes open, I'm telling you.
These 2 gentlemen down here, they're 2 of the mart officials. So I kind of met them a lot, but they're very evasive. They're so busy they don't have time to chat. But they do stand still for quite a while because they're waiting for the cows to come out of the sales ring to march them down to their pens. So I got a good few sketches of those at home, and I love them. Just the colour of the green coats, it really stands out as part of the mart.
And the verdict on one of the portraits?
When you come in here first, you look at everything from a macro point of view. You're standing way back and you're just seeing the whole thing, the size and the scale of the actual mart buildings. But when you kind of walk really, really close, you see kind of the weeds growing in the cracks. You see how the sheet metal gets discoloured in certain areas, and you have to go up really close to see these things. And they're amazing looking shapes and hues come through in that.
I thought that the auctioneer played a very pivotal role, and it's kind of the linchpin that in between all the different parties. So I was quite struck by that. So that's what I ended up basing my final work on. It's a very large piece. It's 8 foot high by 6 foot wide.
For much of the week, though, the mart is doing no business at all.
I liked the mart at its emptiness. It's almost sinister, you know, especially on your own here. It's kind of a creepy place to be. You can hear the dripping of the damp kind of walls and the cement, and you never feel you're ever going to be able to get out. It's a maze. There's a great quality, a great theatrical kind of quality to it that I really enjoy, you know, and that's what my paintings are based on.
This is the man who brought the submarine-style sculpture along behind his Jeep.
That corner pin there, right? Sorry, if you see that corner pin there, that's where I decided to place the sculpture.
Donnacha's idea was to record the farmer's reaction to the unusual sculpture in a familiar setting.
I think it's behaviour. A farmer comes in here, like he's a businessman essentially. He's come in here to conduct his business, right? That's the first thing in his mind. And I noticed that straight away from this vantage point, looking down. They gave it some attention, but like the animals around it still were more important, and that was still prime. Or else there was another thing, which they did not want to embarrass themselves, because as well, coming in here, you don't want to show any weakness. You're bidding, you know, you're putting yourself on the line.
One or two visitors wandered into the mArtists' sales ring.
It's a heifer, and a good one too, you know.
Is it?
Continental heifer, Charlotte. And she seems to be at her 1900. That's the side door in the pin, is it?
That's going into the toilet. No, I'm trying to make it look prettier.
The mArtists at Athenry Mart setting up their show, and somebody sent me some pictures of what happened at the actual show. What great spirit they had. See you the next time.